Well, hello, and welcome to Stop Let's Team Up. It's me, Ross Aiken, and I'm here to talk to you about a team up. Imagine that. It's Stop Let's Team Up is the name of the show. We're going to do an episode about a team up, but more about one of the team up books, in the bronze, silver, copper, whatever ages it may have been. Marvel and DC had their own team up books. Brave and the Bold, Batman, normally starring Batman and a guest star, which is what we're covering today. But there was also DC Comics Presents Superman in a guest, and in Marvel there was Marvel Team Up with Spidey or Human Torch, at least for a little while, and then a guest star, and then Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and a guest star. I had given y'all a selection, and of the four, one of each, and of the four you picked Brave and the Bold, 87, Superman, and the all-new Wonder Woman. So the candidates for each of the titles I picked just scanning through. This one I scanned through. When I was scanning Brave and the Bold, I saw the all-new Wonder Woman. And I know of this era of Wonder Woman. I have never read any of it. From 68 to 71, Wonder Woman she's an unpowered woman who runs a mod boutique, travels with a blind Chinese martial arts master, and has adventures. It's written by Denny O'Neil, so it's a drastic change, and it's a revamp, and Denny he modernized, he updated Batman a little after this. I think this is, I don't know, I'd have to look, but the Batman in this is a little more just standard Batman. Than more Dark Knight, the way I kind of reflect on the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams Batman. But this is a reboot in the 70s where DC was trying new things, and Denny and Mike Sekowsky of JLA Fan did this. And I had seen art from it, and it was amazing. I found it very different than Sekowsky's Justice League. And I really liked Sekowsky's Justice League. It's very of its time, but I really like it. But there's something a little more hip and modern in this, and it kind of reflects of that late 60s kind of mod aesthetic. And I'm glad that this one was picked for that reason, so I could talk about this art, which, having read the comic 2 or 3 times over the last 2 days, I was even more and more enthralled in it. But let's back up and let me give you the basic info of this comic. It is Brave and the Bold, 187, published in January, or its cover date is January 1970, so it's probably published sometime around my birthday in 1970. I'd have been about 6. Writer is Mike Sekowsky. Penciler is Mike Sekowsky. Inker is Dick Giordano. Letterer is John Costanza. And, of course, it's Brave and the Bold. Editor Murray Boltinoff. Executive editor is Carmine Infantino at this time. It has an amazing Mike Sekowsky, Dick Giordano cover. It was published October 23rd, 1969. Oh, I was right. I just saw this 5 days before my 5th birthday. And it's got this great cover by Sekowsky. It's got like the Batman TV logo, which is like Batman looking over his cape, and then the words Batman. And then the new Wonder Woman, it has this mod bold print. So the plot of this is, when Willy von Dort, son of Nazi war criminal General von Dort, plans to use unsportsmanlike means to win a race by having Bruce Wayne killed, Batman enters the race and, with the help of Diana Prince and I Ching, wins the race instead of Van Dort, who is willing to win by any means, even murdering Batman. After Batman wins the race with Diana's help, Van Dort and his accomplices are arrested. Wonder Woman also gets into some trouble with the law when it turns out the car she thought was a rental was the wrong one and was reported stolen. This stars Batman and Wonder Woman. Supporting cast: I Ching. Antagonist Willy von Dort. He dies in this. His father is only seen in flashback. It's in a small European principality. Probably they're leaning a little bit on Monte Carlo, the Grand Prix at Monte Carlo. Some notes on the fandom page is Van Dort should have been Von Dort. Was a mistake. It should have been Van Dort. This has been reprinted, so you can find it in Showcase Presents Batman and the Brave and Bold Team Ups Volume 1 and Diana Prince Wonder Woman Volume 2. This issue features a one-page suspense story titled A Matter of Life and Death, written by Murray Boltinoff, illustrated by Jack Sparling, and lettered by John Cassandra. Any other notes in here? I really enjoyed this. It is a very much a one and done Brave and the Bold. I read Brave and the Bold very religiously as a kid. My brother liked these team ups. A lot of what I read was the Jim Aparo era, which is amazing. Jim Aparo is one of the great Batman artists of all times. Brave and the Bold was a neat way to read a Batman comic and get to read another DC character. And I really enjoyed that. And I was a religious reader of all four of the team-up books. I liked them because I couldn't read every character. I didn't always get to see. And then characters would disappear and they would come back in a team-up book. Oh, we haven't used so-and-so in a long time. We need to renew their trademark. So this character is going to appear so we can do that. I mean, I think sometimes it was as little of the reasoning was as little as that. We have a trademark. We have to keep it moving. I found this I didn't know Mike Sekowsky wrote comics, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a basic adventure. It's very simple, but he gives you the mystery about how, there are little things, how Van Dort communicates with sign language in German, and how I Ching and Diana read the sign language so they know what's going on from a distance. And Bruce Wayne almost being killed. Bruce Wayne asking Diane out, not realizing that this is her former teammate from the Justice League Batman because they don't know each other's identities back then. So she's a little taken back by his flirtation when he just, I think, he wants to see how Diana's going. I don't think it's written as creepy misogynistic, more as Batman just wondering how his teammate is, or at least that's the way I took it. So it's very neat. I don't know much about I Ching, but I'm going to go back and look at something. We're going to talk about that. I'll pause for a second, and I want to look at something and then talk to you about I Ching and the cultural issues that could be had with a character like this. He is the double thing. He is the blind Asian sensei, master, the old Chinese gentleman who is going to teach martial arts. It's a cliche. It can be, some people can find it offensive and racial stereotyping. It is very much that. It's an old, trope, and it's not done well a lot. I think he is. Surprisingly how well I thought how well this comic is written. Even though it is a pretty basic Silver Age kind of comic book, I saw it as one of those late 60s, early 70s experiment. Let's try to be more than we are, more than just the basic, cut and paste kind of superhero story. Let's try something new with Diana. Let's modernize her. And I think it's a very simple story. I found it very entertaining, and I found the art dynamic. I liked it a great deal. I thought it was a little more polished, a little more better storytelling elements to it. Nice uses of color. The color is not listed. It may have been Sekowsky. I think Sekowsky, inked by Giordano, takes on a more less a superhero-y four-color kind of art and more like a Milton Caniff. I'm not comparing it to Milton Caniff, but more that kind of action strip, and I liked it a great deal. There's a little mystery, and you get to see the parts, and it's all spelled out to you as you're watching it, but it's not just a quick reveal at the end. Oh, by the way, we've done something in the background that you didn't see. You see Diana, and they have the race. It's a good, solid story. I mean, I like this era of comics because you got a lot of bang for your buck. This is a fully fleshed out story. I mean, the villain is a cartoon villain, but it's it's kind of like, if I don't know, I'm going to show my age, a cartoon called Speed Racer. The Wachowski brothers did a movie about it. That kind of like the evil racer with, Dick Dastardly and Muttley kind of thing sticking out of the wheels, or you could even see it in Ben-Hur. But the actual race, and where we're seeing the story told through what's happening on the race, during the race, and the drivers, I thought was really cool. I thought it was really beautiful. It was a lot more than I thought it was going to be when I picked it. I picked it blind. I've never read it, and I picked it because there are a lot more of these Brave and the Bolds that I haven't read than I thought. And I found this a little bit ahead of its time in a way that it was them trying to modernize, and I enjoyed it. There was a lot of this kind of change going on at DC, where you had books like, the Denny and Neil Adams Batman. You had them doing the Green Arrow team up, where they reinvent Green Arrow and put him in his modern costume. You see, they do that in the Batman book. You also see this with Wonder Woman. You see Superman getting rid of kryptonite and all the Silver Age trappings, and make it a little different. Sekowsky leaves the Justice League, and you get Dick Dillon, and you get the Satellite era. You're seeing this 69 to 70, this great big change in DC. And I think this is a little before I start really reading comics regular, so I missed this part. And I didn't realize the Wonder Woman stuff went on for as long as it did. It says 68 to 71, and it was 20 something when I Ching is just killed off. What happened is Deanna's depowered because she decides to stay in this dimension because Steve is there, but her mother and all the Amazons are going to another dimension and taking her powers with her. But somehow she also forgets how to fight, and hence has to have a sensei to teach her. If anybody has read those Wonder Woman and want to chime in stuff, I did a quick read. There's not a lot about it, but I just found a couple quick articles. I may go and look at some of these on the app because now I'm really intrigued, especially if it's Mike Sekowsky drawing a lot of them, and he's drawing in this style with Dick Giordano. I'm all in. It is beautiful stuff. The cars look good, everything. It's just a lot of fun. So please read this and check it out. There is even a panel, and I'm going to save it, where he has all these tricks, something's going to pop the tire, and then there's a flashing light on the back of the car, and there's a single panel where it's just the word light in bright yellow. And I thought that was neat storytelling. There's a neat pattern to the panels and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm looking here at page 1. It shows Van Dort driving against Batman and Wonder Woman and I Ching in her stolen convertible. It's a really cool looking car. It looks like it's got cat eyes for lights. So we start the story at the point where Van Dort's trying to rupture the Wayne car driven by Batman. He's wearing his cape, but he's also wearing a helmet with his logo on the front of it. It's kind of cool. And then you have the second and third page is a double page spread, and it's set with Diana she's there, and there's a fashion shoot being done on top of the Wayne car right next to Van Dort's car, the Widowmacher, which means widowmaker, and that's when Bruce Wayne sees her, and Bruce comes up and talks to her, and interrupts Van Dort, and they're both kind of eyeballing Van Dort. And then there's there's the mechanic who tells the truth about someone always dies when they race Van Dort. So, that cliche of, why hasn't anybody had this guy arrested, and then you see the race start. And there's some pages in this must have been 2/3 pages where you had 2/3 of art and then 1/3 with an ad, but the app takes the ads out. So I kind of wonder which kind of cool 60s ad would have been in here. But you see him talking to his people in sign language, and I Ching and Diana figuring it all out. They go in and they find two of the guys messing with Wayne's car, and then Wayne comes in and starts a fight. But he has to kind of let himself get beat up so Diana doesn't figure out he's Batman. And he does then get clocked in the face with a wrench. So he's legitimately out. and then he fakes his injury and then switches off to Batman, and Batman does a race. So it's kind of like that this is more like the TV show where Batman would get in a race car and race, and he's got this little helmet with the bill and the goggles and the bat emblem on the forehead. It's really kind of cheesy and cute at the same time. And then the race starts, and there's at the bottom of page 14, it's the two front, it's the Vidamaka and Wayne 1, the two cars at the front, and right above that panel is Diana trying to get into it. And it's a beautiful panel. And then you see crashes and stuff on the panels, like you'll see the whole thing, and then you see people trying to, someone with a gun inside a telescopic camera lens to shoot Batman, but Diana stops him. They try to stop him with a bale of hay. There's that flash of light, that panel. It's at the bottom of 15. It's very cool. And then right next to him is this like evil picture of Van Dort going, but they will have trouble seeing in the light. And it's click, this light on the back of the car flashes, and then the word light. It is really, really good. And they do it inside this tunnel. Batman is blinded. He almost wrecks, but, he figures it out. That's when Diana gets a flat tire, and there's a guy who's going to cut the banner at the end, at the finish line, to wreck Wayne before that. It's the banner at the 90 meters mark before the front line, starting to crash him. And Diana and I Ching stop him, but it still comes down, but he still wins, and Van Dort's arrested. And that's when Diana was arrested because what she thought was a rental was a stolen car. It's a neat little comic. Read it. I will be doing the other 3. I will post today another poll with the remaining 3 and let you guys go from there until we're done. Maybe I'll throw another Brave and the Bold in. I don't know, but I really want to do those other ones, so I'm not going to change those 3. So it's a lot of fun. So next week, folks, on Saturday or Sunday, when I edit, Jim Fetters, the amazing Jimbo Fett, will be back, and we will be talking about the first volume of Legionnaires, which is the reboot. I had not read it in a long, long time, and I just finished it late last night. I stayed up very, very late reading it because I couldn't put it down. I may read volume 2 very quickly, but I got other things I got to read because I got other things to do Wednesday and Tuesday with Legion, and Thursdays with the last of the prequel stories to the Defenders. So that's going to be a lot of fun this week. Folks, if you would go on your podcast feed of choice and please give us a review. I mean, just be honest. Review's a review. If you're watching the videos on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps in the algorithm. I really would appreciate it. I want to expand the podcast, and that will be a huge help. I've gotten some equipment, so we will start seeing my ugly mug on YouTube, and I hope it's not too scary. Send me suggestions of stuff you want me to cover. I'm looking for that Saturday slot. It can be a single issue if it has something to do. It could be an arc of a team that you like and a story. I've got some ideas popping around, like I've never read New Warriors. I was bidding on one and it got too pricey, and I need to keep my money aside because I'm getting that 5 year later omnibus as a treat to myself. But stuff like that, if there's something if you have one from another outside company, I would love to do one. I have not finished reading Liberty Project, but I will be doing that one, the Kurt Busiek one. But send me your ideas. Buy me a cup of coffee on Ko-Fi. It'll help me stay awake when I'm staying up late when I should be sleeping, reading comic books for the podcast, which I do because I like it, but also help me pay for, the feed and stuff like that. I'd appreciate it. Also, as I said, give us a review. Chime in on Facebook. You can find us at JSA4E. That is JSA, the number 4, the letter E. Or email me at stopletsteamup@gmail.com. I would love your input, good, constructive, anything. So I'd love to hear from you. You can also catch me on Gallifrey's Most Wanted, or the Gallifrey Most Wanted presents the Runsell Report. And if you're into Doctor Who, it's a lot of fun. I do want to send up some shout outs again. I have finished at, I'm up to date on the Earth 2 podcast. I say everybody, you should go back and listen to it. They just did. The latest issue is a wonderful one about Hawkman and the Gentleman Ghost, and so good. And I went back and looked at that comic, and the cover is an absolute masterpiece. So check out them on Twitter. Check out Fantastic Comic Fan. Ron will be with us when we do Marvel Feature number 1, the first full Defender story, and I'm excited for you to hear that. We've had that conversation already. We got it done early. And just send me some recommendations for comic book podcasts. I am now playing catch up on Titan of the Defense. So if you've got something else, hopefully something with a short run, send it my way. And until then, hey, y'all be good. Y'all be smart. Be kind. And read some comics.